Hello, I'm Russell and welcome to this Living Memory Association podcast celebrating 125 years of Glenogle baths. In this first episode, we hear from local folk who've been visiting the Stockbridge-based pool over the years, and also from lifeguard Isla, who volunteered to research the history of Glenogle through photographs, memories, and even a 1990s dissertation on Scotland's Victorian pool heritage. So strap on your water wings and take the plunge with us as we commemorate this unique and rather special place in the recreational history of Edinburgh.
Hi, I'm Brenda, Roxburgh. Well, I first came probably about 1969 for swimming lessons, and then I joined the Heart of Midlothian Ladies Swimming Club in 1970. I've got a lot of happy memories from coming here, and I actually met my future husband here. My sister was best friends with his sister, and at that point it was a ladies swimming club only, so he wasn't able to join. When we joined, the boys joined us. Keith joined, but he only stayed a short time and went to 1930, but kept in touch, and eventually we got married. So that's a big thing that Glenogle brings memories to. Our parents made lifelong friendships. Yeah, just a lot of history. There was 5 of us in our family. I was the 4th one, so we all learnt to swim here. My younger brother wasn't really interested, but my sisters and I were really keen to carry on. So my mum got us enrolled in the Hearts Ladies Swimming Club, and it used to be great fun. We'd come 3 times a week, and a Saturday morning we always came here. My dad had a bakehouse in Stockbridge, and we'd always go and get the rolls there, and then we would head home from there. And then all the galas that we used to have, it was always fun. We'd invite other clubs here, go up to the club room afterwards. The mums would bring cakes, totally different from swimming clubs nowadays, I'm sure, but it was all fun. I think I was maybe about 10 or 11 with Adam Linton, and he was the president. So when we first started, Adam Linton and his wife, they sort of were in charge of the club, and Thelma Bain, they were the 3 main sort of coaches. Bessie Linton was Adam's wife, and their daughter Catherine had been a Scottish champion swimmer. So it was it was quite small, not a lot of coaches or anything like that, until we obviously expanded into the boys' club, and then it also got much, much bigger. But my favourite memories were when we were just the ladies only. When I first came back after it all being refurbished, I was saying back, I used to love the turnstiles. I think it's a shame that they're away. You know, you can see the difference. It's much more open when you come in. It's nice and bright. The gym's amazing, because when I was here with Hearts, we just got permission to make it a room for land training, and it was nothing like what it is now. So it's nice to see the transformation, and it's survived.
Do you think this place is important to the local community?
Extremely important, yeah.
Why?
Because it's part of the history. It'd be such a shame. I mean, Infirmary Street was closed, and that was so sad. I was really sad when I saw that. So I think it's really important to keep these pools open. Very important. And
if you had to describe what this place means to you, how would you describe it? What would you say?
I just love this place. It's just a happy memory place that, I just like still coming to. One of the fun ones was when we joined the boys. One of the men, he had a shop, a grocer's shop, and he used to bring apples, and we used to throw them all in the pool, and the boys used to get really angry because obviously we had swimming costumes, and we would dive down to get the apples, and we'd get so many and stuff them down our costumes. That was always great fun. Yeah, we always had good sort of party things here. It's all about the fun element as well. And my sister was actually over from Australia just a few weeks ago, and she came here, and she hasn't been here for such a long time, and she absolutely loved it. She was able to take a photo from, I can't remember who she found a photo about, and she sent it to her coach in Australia, and her reply was, wow, wow, wow.
Hello, I'm Arthur. I live locally. I've been coming here as far as I can think, about 30 years.
What first brought you to Glenogle Baths?
Because I'd been going out to the commie, and this was very much nearer. I lived locally, and the commie wasn't so attractive. It was too large, the 50 metres. And also, for many years, I went to Dalry. I worked in the centre of the city. In the evenings I went up to Dalry. That was very nice too.
But you've found a home here at Glenogle for the past 30-odd years.
Yes.
Why do you like coming here then?
I should say it's the friendly atmosphere, and the fact that even if you only come once a week, you still see people that you know regularly, and your Christian name terms in the pool, in the shower. It's just very nice. It's like an extended family.
And is there something about the building itself that you quite like?
It's the charming and the fact that I helped. I took round collected signatures when we were trying to save it, whenever it was 15 years ago. And it didn't seem right that they should demolish this and build houses here. Wasn't right. And also the red sandstone is very beautiful.
What was the local feeling at the time? Do you remember?
Well, people were really upset. There was talk in the shops, Raeburn Place, all round. You talk to people and they were all really upset. So most of them were really pleased to sign. And they say, can my dog sign as well?
It sounds like, from what you're saying, that this place has a very special role within the local community.
Yes, I think it tends to be more the older people, but certainly the younger ones as well. You see the 20s and 30s. They'll come too. But yes, it is an essential part of the community. I've got a quite a damaged hip at the moment, an arthritic hip, so I'm trying to get to the stage where I can do full crawl length to length. It's not coming at the moment, but backstroke is easier.
How many lengths are we getting in backstroke at the moment?
Well, backstroke maybe sort of 2 or 3 complete, in bits and pieces, and the lengths overall maybe, I think, probably 20, something like that.
What's it like being in the pool?
You feel at home. One with a sore hip, when you get into the water, it's completely different. The pain, the discomfort's away. You feel more like a fish.
It sounds like you really love this place, Arthur.
I do. I'm a sailor's son, you see, so I take to it naturally.
My name's George Clark. I probably came in 1982 briefly, as I moved to Edinburgh in the summer of 81, but I didn't start to become a regular swimmer until 1988 when I moved round the corner. I've always enjoyed having somewhere to live that's within a couple of minutes of a bath, and this was ideal.
What do you enjoy about it?
So I had some jobs that were quite stressful, and this was a good place to be able to relax. I mean, to be honest, it was more for my mental health that I've always come. I've never particularly been that bothered about my physical health. I'm quite a good swimmer, and consequently I can plough up and down the pool. I have to put no effort into swimming whatsoever. It just frees my mind.
What do you like about this space and this pool here?
I think it's a more bohemian kind of atmosphere, I would say, in general. And there are a large number of people that come from other parts of the city, specifically to come to this pool. I'm sure you're aware there was plans in order to close the baths, and we were quite vociferous and organised public campaigns to try and ensure that it remained open.
The pool was saved and refurbished.
Indeed, yeah. Since the refurbishment, I think the staff have put an enormous amount of effort into maintaining it, both the fabric and the environment. I mean, the gym used to be an old school, very smelly, rubbery kind of place, and now it's all very high-tech and streamlined, so that is an enormous difference. I think a lot of people face social isolation, and I think that they benefit from having the social interaction.
So it caters for all types of people? It has
a wide range of things, yeah. And I think in general I would say the staff are very sensitive to that, so consequently they don't. People that they're quite good at assessing people's needs, I think, and people that are maybe a little bit isolated or timid, they're very good with encouraging and making feel part of it.
My name's Isla. I'm a lifeguard here. I have been for the past year and a half.
You have been instrumental in this anniversary celebration. Could you tell me a little bit about what you've done towards it?
So I put together a little photo/historical display up along one of our walls around the balcony. To do that, I found lots of photos from various people. Lots of lovely customers gave me photos. I actually lucked out and found a dissertation from the 90s which is actually where a lot of the photos come from. A guy that had done a dissertation based on the Victorian baths in Scotland, and Glenogle was obviously one of them, and so he had photos they'd taken from the 90s, and I got in touch with him and he very graciously gave me those photos and lots of information in the dissertation. It was wonderful. Additionally, I used the British newspaper archive, which is so wonderful, such a wonderful resource, to go back in time and see all the old newspapers day to day of what they reported, what they said about Glenogle, the stories, timeline information. I'm hoping that most of it's quite accurate because it came from first-hand sources. It's lots of facts that I didn't know before that aren't in public domain, really.
So on that note, what was or is the most fascinating or standout thing that you found out about this building and this pool and its history? Was it about some of the people? Was it about some of the events that have happened here? The architecture of the building, perhaps?
I think I enjoyed the architecture bit a lot. I did a lot of research into the style, the baronial style, I think is how it's said, and how it looks so much like a castle. And then I started picking out all the elements that are castle like they've got the gun loops at the top, and learned so much about architecture of the features that are at the top, or the little bits where they used to have features of where they put guns through and pelted stuff down at them, all the little intricate details at the top of the building. That was fun. I also enjoyed learning about the opening, the very first opening day. Much like today, they had a speech and everyone was welcomed into the building, and they had a water football match and diving, because there's a diving board here, and then synchronised swimming type stuff, and also a life-saving competition. So that was really fun to learn that happened. I also really enjoyed learning about who used the baths and why, and how amazing it is that it was created it's a public bath. So I think my favourite fact was actually, in Scotland, the baths didn't come into being, public baths didn't come into being until the turn of the century, until the 1900s or just before, because although the British Public Hygiene Law and Baths Law came in 1846, it didn't provide them with a way to fund them. So when, I think it's the Police Borough Law or something like that, and there's another one, came in at the start of the 1890s, they had a way to fund the public baths it allowed them to borrow money basically, which hadn't happened before, so they could build all these facilities for people, and the people that needed it in the colonies, in Stockbridge. It's fascinating to see that it was built for everyday people and for reasons that they needed it. I mean, times have definitely changed, so I think it was lovely to see the connection to the past. It's amazing that they were worker flats back in the day, and the community reflected that. It was the building was built for that, and the red brick of the building made it stand out from the streetscape, made the public baths known, and people came in and used it, and that was what it was about. So we had this lovely couple, very entertaining. They came every day. Unfortunately, no longer with us, they're no longer visiting us anymore. The lady used to swim along, and we'd talk to her along the pool. And her husband used to use our sauna and steam room, and she would tell us that they met here. And she would remember her husband and all his cronies coming up the back stairwell for free. They would jimmy the door, get in the back stairwell for free, come up, and they'd jump off the diving board into the pool. And that was one of her first recollections of her husband, who obviously she went on to marry. But cheeky, and I think captures what the centre was also about. Of people using it and having fun. What do you like about working here? The people, obviously. I think it's the reason I've lasted so long here. I mean, you see the same people day in, day out. I've made friends through being here. I also get to speak to generations that, in my everyday life, I would not have, access to. And hearing their stories and hearing and being able to chat to them about my life as well is a really special connection. It strikes me that a place like this is important, particularly for an elderly demographic. I think Glenogle does that very well. I think the cafe has taken a huge portion of that. Like, Sam is instrumental. He sits with his customers, they come in to see him, and he listens to their stories and he listens to their problems, and he'll help them with their computers, and he's very patient with them. And not just that, but you know, our supervisors and our receptionists, they all know what it means to be at Glenogle, and it's to do with the community and welcoming people into the building. And whether that's for the gym or the swimming pool, our gym team are fantastic. They sit and they talk to everyone, and they listen to them, and they hear their problems and put that into gym plans for them. And it's not just their, you know, physical problems, but you know, there's a lot of customers that they take the time and learn their names and know how to help them.
And from everything you've said, it sounds like this is a very, very special place, a unique place. And I wonder if you could describe what it means to you in just a sentence or a couple of words. How would you describe Glenogle Pool?
It's definitely special. I think to have a place that's so focused on community and so welcoming to everyone, it kind of destroys any aspect of those individualised sentiments. I cannot see a way that health doesn't work and community doesn't improve health. To me, I've seen that firsthand. It's so important.
A massive thank you to Brenda, Arthur, George and Isla for sharing their memories and experiences of Glenogle Swim Centre with us. Thanks also to the Edinburgh Leisure team at Glenogle Pool for organising these interviews. Tune in to the second episode of Memories from Glenogle coming soon. And why not listen to our other podcasts covering all aspects of life in Edinburgh? Search Living Memory Association podcasts or download from Spotify, YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. Visit our Wee Museum of Memory and our exhibition space at Ocean Terminal Shopping Centre in Leith. We're open 7 days a week. There's also lots of content on our Facebook and TikTok platforms at Thelma Scotland. Okay, until next time, cheerio.